Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids, independent, existentialism, modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. This is the Gen Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
Welcome in. This is where we get together and we chat about any number of weird, wild, and wonderful things from a Gen X perspective, because we're both 50. We're both a half century old, by God, and we've seen some stuff.
Yes.
And welcome to it. What we do, we spin Mega Wheel the Magnificent, as I am about to spin right now. Come up with a topic out of the 500 randomized oddball things that are on here. And basically, we hope that we get a topic that's actually fairly decent. And that is the very same one that came up for a couple episodes ago. Wow. We really need your help, folks. Start sending in some topics. Bunny's going to tell you how you can do
that. Why don't you drop us a line at our Facebook page. It's Morning Pizza Radio Collective. Or you can drop us a line here at the Mixcloud where you found us. Or you can go the old-fashioned way and send us an email at morningpizzaradio@proton.me.
So we've got our next topic, first topic for this episode,
right.
And it fits perfectly. For those of you that don't know or are unfamiliar, when we get together, we record a number of these at the same time, and usually there's a whole lot of discussion that goes on in the background too, and in between actual episodes. So this fits in with a lot of that. Are you, Bunny, more of an extrovert or an introvert?
I think ultimately, as much as I'd like to be an introvert, I think I stray more on the extrovert side.
Why?
I enjoy other people. I enjoy their perspectives to an extent. And
not too much.
Yeah, not too much. No, I get a lot of energy from being around people and talking and hanging out and stuff. So, yeah, I think as much as I enjoy my alone time, and I get quite a bit of that, I'm much more an introvert. How about you?
I believe that I am an introvert.
Okay.
I can be quite happy by myself or with a very few people. If I get into a group of more than 4 or 5, I tend to kind of pull into myself. I don't really want to go beyond that. Now, the difference comes if I'm on stage. Mm-hmm. If you put a mic in front of my face like this, or like the old radio show I used to do, or poetry readings, if you put me on a stage, I can be very extroverted. I enjoy doing that. It's almost like the microphone, or for me, a bass or a guitar is a shield or a mask, and I feel like a different person, even though it's me. I liken it to this. I used to be a dispatcher as the service department of a forklift company. And I was always me, but at one point I was dealing with 17 road technicians. And each one of those 17 people had their own personality. And I couldn't be the same me with everybody. I was always me, but I likened it to being a chameleon. Change your color a little bit, change your tone of voice, how you work with people. It was never disingenuous. I was never putting on an actual mask. I just kind of created my persona in such a way that it worked better with theirs. And that's what it is. Like getting on stage, getting in front of people is just a different way of being.
Yeah.
But when I'm just me, I'm much more introverted.
Okay.
So like there's a radically different way that you know me, or that Tracy knows me, from like people I work with or people that I only see occasionally.
As it should be.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Good.
So that was a good starter. So we'll give Mega Wheel another spin here and see if we can actually get a magnificent topic. And here we go. And the wheel has stopped on. If See, that's one we already had. It was the one about wishes coming true. If you could have one wish come true, what would it be?
Okay.
So Mega Wheel is failing us.
You'll have to tune in to another episode for the answer to that one, folks.
Okay, this is good. This is a good question because it comes with an example, okay?
Oh, good.
So, do you ever make excuses for your bad behavior? For example, I punched him because he was a jerk.
Is that really an excuse, or that just seems like a reason to punch somebody? Like you need a reason to punch somebody.
Well, I mean, I punched him because he was a Nazi. That's a good reason. That's justifiable.
All right. So do I make excuses for my bad behavior?
Yeah.
I justify some of my lazy behavior. I think we had this discussion before the show about projects and me coming up with a million different reasons not to do a project.
The but statements.
Yeah, the buts.
I could do this, but...
I like butts. What can I say? No. Yeah, I don't think I really make excuses for my bad behavior, though.
It kind of goes...
When I'm bad, I'm just going to admit that I'm bad, and that's just...
What's your definition of bad behavior? That's what the question... That's why it's a good question, because
bad behavior
it puts all that on you.
And bad behavior is saying something that's offensive to others and not really caring, I guess. Mm. And I will say I don't really have I can justify that, I suppose, I mean...
You can justify saying the thing or not saying the thing.
Yeah, I can justify saying the thing because I don't really care. I mean, that's part of the bad behavior. It's like, yeah, everybody's got opinions, so that's how I justify that, I guess.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm not. What did you say before in a previous podcast? It's your reaction to the outcome.
Yeah, it's how you react.
Yeah, so it's not my fault if your reaction is terrible,
right?
to something that I say, because that's on you.
Correct.
Words should not be so offensive that that they're damaging or destructive to you.
Nothing that anyone says immediately offends me. I'll hear things and I'll have an immediate reaction of what?
Yeah.
But I try not to react to that. I try to look at it like, okay, why would this person say that?
Sure.
Were they joking? Number one. Are they serious? If so, what's their background? Why would they have that point of view? That kind of thing. And it goes with something we've already talked about today, active listening. Mm-hmm. If you just take the surface, the very basic surface response to what somebody says, you're probably missing a lot of the nuance. You're missing a lot of the subtext for whatever was said.
So we're going to push this back on you then. How do you justify your bad behaviors? And
I don't behave badly.
Oh, yeah.
I have no bad behavior. I am a saint in waiting.
No.
Just as soon as I perform a miracle, I'm going to immediately be canonized. And Saint Scott, look for him coming to a church near you soon.
And that's what we call a swerve.
I think in the past, when I have done things that could be considered bad, usually saying things, mm-hmm. I would eventually own up to it. I would eventually apologize, because oftentimes they were before I had learned to control my reactions. They were usually a product of the stimulus around me, and my reactions were awful. And so it was bad behavior, but really you can't justify it. And if somebody points it out to you that you've done something bad, you owe it to yourself and to them to at least discuss it.
Definitely. I think discussion is healthy. I think apologies are there if you need to apologize, if it's something that you feel deep down that you need to apologize.
Yeah. And sometimes the apology is, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. Which I always thought was one of the greatest apology things to do ever. Like, look, I'm sorry that you feel that
I'm sorry
way.
You were hurt by that, but I mean, come on. Don't be such a thin-skinned moron.
Yeah, come on, get with it, man. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, so that was an interesting, weird question, and probably not answered the best by me, but
it's discussion, and I think it's worthwhile to throw this stuff out, and rip the doll apart, and see what the innards look like, and see where you can go from there.
Violent.
So
how do you justify that bad behavior, sir?
We're going to spin Mega Wheel of Magnificent again. Well, you have to rip the doll apart because that's where the drug dealers keep their drugs. And if you're a cop trying to keep stuff off the streets, that's what you do. You rip the teddy bear
Mule
up.
Barbie. Drug Mule Barbie. The new hit toy for this Christmas season.
Okay, next question.
Mm-hmm.
What is one accomplishment that you're proud of? Let me narrow that focus. In the last year, what is one thing that you have done that you're proud of? One accomplishment.
I think one accomplishment that I've done this year is something that I've done with my wife. So I won't take all the credit, of course, but we moved into a new house. And
Awesome.
That was a big transition. There's a lot to do when it's just two people.
Yeah.
And we got the old house on the market, had a great realtor friend of ours help us sell it.
Yep.
And we are in a new place, and we're pretty much settled in. We feel like we've lived there for more than 9 months, which is about all we've lived there for. So
it doesn't even seem that long.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean,
it seems like you guys were just like putting stuff in, and
but now we're sort of settled in. So I'd say that's an accomplishment that I'm feeling pretty good about. How about you?
Awesome. One accomplishment this year. Again, it's not family related. I was part of a team of a number of different people, most of them in my department at work, and we attained ISO 45001 certification at work, which is a safety and health management systems. It's a safety thing. And it's not easy. There was a lot to do. Did a lot of writing. Created
a lot of auditing goes into stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, did a lot of writing. Basically every safety and health program we had went through at least one revision, some of them multiple revisions, writing the basic safety and health management system manual, kind of putting all that together. And it was all of us working on it. There are 5 people in my department, and we all put in a lot of time on it. But it's the kind of thing that when you get a lot of really good professional people moving in the same direction, you can get a lot done. So I'm really proud of that.
True that.
And we'll hit another topic. Go into Mega Wheel of Magnificent. Sometimes these episodes where we get a bunch of little things are a lot of fun, but I tend to like the deeper questions that can take the whole time. Okay. This could be one of those. How do you define beauty in a person or life? So I guess, what's your definition of beauty?
My definition of beauty, I have been very, I've been very aware of aesthetics since I was a young child. I think that comes with a predisposition to the arts.
Yeah.
There's the old adage of beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, all that jazz. I think cutting out physical beauty or spiritual beauty that you get with a lot of art, or you get with a beautiful woman, or a beautiful song or something like that. I think beauty to me is genuine. It's a genuine article. It's someone who can bear themselves as deeply as possible, genuinely.
Okay.
That's what I find probably the most beautiful aspect of anything is a genuine article, I guess.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of different levels to beauty, and it depends on whether you're talking about like physical, artistic, sonically. And it's one of those things where you know it when you see it, hear it, or feel it. And it's not the same for everybody. There are some generalizations you can make, like the golden ratio and things like that, when stuff just works. Lots of times symmetry will be associated with beauty because of that aspiration of perfection. I don't necessarily find perfection beautiful. I find perfection odd. I tend to like cracks. I tend to like asymmetry. So beauty kind of shifts, but there's some underlying characteristics, like, certain chord progressions are literally just beautiful. Certain color combinations are just beautiful. And it's funny how you can have, say, a color combination and just shift the tint or the hue of one of the colors, and it can throw the whole thing off. Mm-hmm. It can disrupt that. So I guess it's a loaded question for me, because I know for a fact that a lot of the things that I really like, especially musically, a lot of the things that I really like, not a lot of people do. Like when I'm writing a song, I love leaving things hanging. I like not resolving to the chord you expect the song to end on, and just leaving it hanging there in that tense moment. And it drives some of my friends nuts that I will do stuff like that. But I love that tension and that weirdness that goes along with it.
I think it's really kind of a loaded question to an extent, because it's almost,
what do you find beautiful?
It's very subjective. Yeah. I mean, beauty is subjective on a lot of levels, but that's why I try to couch it in the genuine article, because you know it, you feel it when you see it, when you experience it, when you taste it. But only you know what you find the most beautiful. So,
yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Where are we at time-wise? Oh, let's give it one more spin. Let's see if Mega Wheel can pop something up good for us here. And we're spinning and spinning, and our topic is, are you a mountain or a beach person?
Definitely a mountain person.
I am too. And there, ladies and gentlemen, the quickest topic ever on the Gen Existentialist podcast.
Good night, folks.
Yeah, it will torture my wife to hear this, because she's very much a large body of water person, a beach person. She would love to live near a beach, and it just does absolutely nothing for me. I like a good lake, but yeah, give me mountains, give me trees. I'm good. So we've spun Mega Wheel again.
Let's spin it one more time. Let's push our luck.
Got it.
All right.
We've already got the topic here. What prevents you from sharing the shadow part of yourself?
Nothing.
Well, there's got to be some stuff that you keep hidden. We all do. We all have those aspects of our personality that, even to our closest friends, even to the people that know us best, we try to keep hidden.
Well, let me give you an answer to that with a big old butt, since we know you like butts. I think, to be perfectly honest, I have known Scott for well over 40 years at this point.
Yep.
I think you know me just about as well as anybody else knows me, and
I know all your shadows.
That's right, and there's nothing that you really don't know. I share the worst and the best of my thoughts and feelings with you. Now, will I do it publicly on a broadcast? No. I mean, that would keep me from...
Little does he know I've been recording everything today.
Yeah,
no, I haven't. I wouldn't do that.
That's... I don't really have any shame in that respect. I don't feel ashamed of my dark side or my light side. I'm very free with my love and my praises and what I think is beautiful, and I'm fairly free with my criticism and my bad ideas and my dark thoughts and stuff. And I don't feel like you need to hide that from people unless you're into some really shady shit. I mean,
yeah, and that would be the thing.
I'm really
shady stuff, and you're not. But let me give you a lot of credit here. Even the stuff that a lot of people may consider like the shadow part of yourself, even the stuff that would typically be considered sort of shadowy, you've always got justification for. It may not be something that the majority would agree with, or even a topic that the majority out there would want to discuss. But you've got your thoughts and ideas on things, even stuff that I absolutely disagree with. But you've got justifications. And
Sure.
to the point where, from a logical and reasoned perspective, I can't immediately dismiss.
Hey, that's high praise coming
Even-
from a philosophy major. I appreciate that.
Even for the stuff that I immediately go, no, I'm not buying that. You've got reasons,
Sure.
and they are valid enough that I have to accept it and just kind of roll with it.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about friendships and relationships with other people and stuff, is that if you meet the right people, you don't have to have the same opinions. You don't have to constantly echo and mirror each other
Yeah.
in everything. You can accept the fact that you don't see eye to eye on everything, but you still love and care for each other. So
Yeah. And I mean, it works out because, the shadow part of I don't have a shadow part of myself. I am, again, Saint Scott,
See,
coming to a
listen to
church
this.
near you soon.
listen to this
All I need to do is perform a miracle.
crap.
All I need is a miracle.
All I need is...
Yeah.
Who sang that song?
Mike and the
anyway?
Mechanics.
Mike and the Mechanics, that's right. Wow.
Imagine what song is going to end this episode.
I lost my Gen X cred. So seriously, what keeps you from sharing? Because since you're such a saint, what keeps you from sharing the dark side or the shadow side of you?
I do censor myself a lot because when I have, I guess you would call them shadowy thoughts and things like that, my tendency is to run them through the meat grinder in my head just constantly, to reassess, find a different angle to look at them, go back and forth and figure out why. Everything is an incident investigation. Everything is a 5 why analysis, and trying to get down to that final why. And it might be not 5 whys, it might be 500 whys traveling down the path of why do I feel this way about this particular thing. And usually I chop the shadows up so much that I figure them out and they're no longer shadows. It's kind of like when you're a kid, if you're scared of the dark. Why? Because it's the unknown. If it's a shadowy thought in my mind or a shadowy part of myself, I owe it to myself. And this goes back a couple episodes now that we've been talking about this. Know thyself. If I've got a shadow, I need to figure out why it's there. Why is there no light on that particular part of my personality? What have I done? What am I hiding? And the thing I think that you would find, having been friends for so long, is that that's where I usually end up. Even those shadowy parts, once they come out, I think there's usually a good reason for it.
Yeah. I think the whole shadow side stuff really gets a bad rap, to be honest. I mean, there are some people that have some seriously pitch dark thoughts, which is understandable, but thoughts are just thoughts.
Yes.
There's no reason to be ashamed of bad thoughts.
No, not at
There's
all.
no reason to not forgive yourself for thoughts you had when you were young,
Yeah.
or thoughts you had in the heat of a moment. Now, acting on those thoughts is a whole other thing. Damn, we got all the songs
Yeah.
going on. Yeesh. And now you'll find yourself in 83. Remember that part? That's a great part. So topical. No, I had this discussion earlier with someone where I was like, don't be afraid to forgive yourself, kid, because you were just a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry about bad thoughts. I mean,
we're all wrong sometimes. We all have shadows.
yeah.
And
That's
it's
what
a matter
makes
of,
you.
Yeah, if you just live with them, that's one thing. If you figure out why they're there or why you feel that way, that's how you grow.
Rock on.
Yeah. This has been the Gen Existentialist Podcast. My name's Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
Catch you next time. Have a good one.